2005. I received a call that no one should ever have to hear. I was in my final year of high school and unsure of really where I was going next at the time. I knew where my interests were, and for me at the time, much like many other high school students who were skateboarding, snowboarding, and video games, being immersed in that sense of connection that you get really brought these activities to life for me. Being able to take on new challenges, push the boundaries of what was possible. In the middle of the day, I received a frantic call from my mom. She said, "Your father just had a stroke. We're going to the hospital." Rushing to the worst possible scenarios, my mind was racing, unsure of really what this meant or where we were going and what even a stroke really meant to us. But I knew it could be potentially life-changing. In fact, it was. A tumor that had been growing for years resulted in a massive stroke that changed our lives forever. Now, my father is a happy, loving person, and coming from a big family, he's always done a great job of creating a sense of community and bringing us all together. We always knew his job was stressful, but uncertain of really how stress can impact a person. Seeing his changes in emotions and behaviors, it got me curious, and I wanted to understand more about the brain and psychology and help in any way that I could. Since depression is what it was originally diagnosed as, but my younger self only knew this to be some type of period of low mood, and much like our rise and falls of emotions from day to day, I thought this too would pass. In fact, it did, and it was something that we had never experienced before. So for me, there were still several unanswered questions for me that I had to answer. I just didn't know how to at the time. The questions of understanding mental health and wellness still arise for me to this day. And looking back at why this stroke had happened and how a combination of lifestyle choices and workplace stresses could contribute to such a terrible outcome. I had to learn more about this, with learning now being in the form of as a caregiver for my father. Seeing his challenges in rehabilitation, his daily needs, and resilience inspired me to seek out these answers through research and staying involved within this brain injury community further. My first jump into this was through my undergraduate, where I volunteered at a mental health and addictions clinic, and seeing it at the brain-based level of how mental health and addiction impact our very life. Continuing along this journey, I started to work with many trauma survivors, many of which were brain injury victims, working in a residential setting. And it was there that I worked on their daily needs and things that you and I may take for granted, such as washing dishes, writing notes, or performing even day-to-day tasks and rehabilitation. Speaking with them and learning from them, not only of their goals, but how this trauma impacted their very life. This was touching for me, since we shared our challenges and took from this experience as ways that we can support one another in a very person-centered manner. It wasn't just how they said this, it was the way they said it. It was the tone of their voice, the signs of frustration, and the look of resilience. I had to dig deeper. Years later, beginning my graduate training, eager to learn more and finally come to what I believe to be an answer. My research was based at a small rehabilitation center, looking at how emotion and language holds the key to understanding the nature of recovery following trauma. In our weekly meetings with many of the brain injury residents, many of these trauma victims had also experienced a traumatic brain injury and shared their stories with me. And while many don't know this, but emotional pain, much like physical pain, is processed very similarly in the brain. So understanding the mind-body connection would shine a light on trauma's impact and, more importantly, the healing process. Each week, our meetings started very much the same, but always evolved into something more different. To me, it became much more than research. I was walking through the recovery journey with them, sharing their stories side by side with them as they described them to me. I was there not just to work towards my degree, but revisit a sensitive time with a new set of lenses. With one particularly powerful quote standing out to me, whereby one of the patients had mentioned their injury, it was as if they had come out as an infant, where learning everything as if they were new and for the first time. And to me, this made me question how I could help further. Since depression is one of the most commonly associated mental health issues for people living with the challenges of brain injury, it's a feeling of difficulty to be able to share this with another person. So it's truly a feeling of vulnerability to disclose a life-changing event with another human being. But being genuinely curious, the conversations are much more open and light, and you can feel the relief in their voice as they share their mental hurdles with you and what they've had to overcome. With each research opportunity, I was so fortunate to take this perspective and not only help my father, but apply those tools and principles to the millions of others living with these daily challenges. So where do I go with this research? Still, there are several remaining unanswered questions for me and how I wanted to make an impact in this world. So, as I sat at my desk procrastinating for writing my master's thesis and wondering where I'm going to go next, I was at a crossroads, not knowing what I wanted to do. I knew what my interests were, and I loved research, but I didn't know where I wanted to take this further. So an opportunity had presented itself to apply to a local startup pitch competition. And it was there that I knew nothing about business. I knew nothing about how to pitch an idea. I just knew research and heading in that direction. The idea? Building a connected rehabilitation experience using virtual reality. Now, this was a somewhat far-fetched idea at the time, since the nature and landscape of virtual reality was very much focused on entertainment. But I saw the potential this had for good, and I knew that I wanted to take it in a different direction. And with nothing more than an idea, we got into this program, and at that moment, I knew how I wanted to make an impact in the world, in the next step in creating connected healthcare. And since then, I'd never looked back. Virtual reality represents an extension of our reality and a beautiful tool to shape and create patient experiences that we could have never otherwise have dreamed of. For most, virtual reality might seem like an alternate reality or an escape from a daily routine or game. But with rehabilitation, although there are game-like experiences, it can be challenging to continue and to find that motivation to get towards that personal goal. Since training the brain can be physically exhausting, much like studying extensively for a test, the results leave you feeling physically drained. But it doesn't have to be. The role of gamification, or giving game-like qualities to tasks, has been shown not only to support people, but to boost motivation, engagement, and mood. So rather than an escape, you create an opportunity by tapping into our inherent love of play. From traveling to new and exciting places, to guiding surgeries, to training skilled professionals, the feeling of joy surrounds its very use. This was something I wanted to hold on to and infuse into rehabilitation. And the skills don't just end there. There's lots of research coming out right now, even to this day, where they're finding that even the experience you get within virtual reality extends beyond playing it, so that you can translate these skills into everyday use. For the first time trying the hardware, feeling a sense of freedom to explore and interact in new worlds with limitless curiosity, or to take challenges head on. Because in rehabilitation, it can be a safe space to strengthen skills to better transition a person towards recovery. Or it can be a shared experience where you can bring therapy closer to home. The notion of being connected surrounds us. From the very way our brain is wired to the interconnections we have in society, we are very much driven to the mutual support of others. And to bring it back to earlier experiences, VR could have added that much needed personal touch towards the recovery, but more importantly, the emotional connection that it includes, in nurturing independence, support systems, and creating a positive outlook overall. So although I'm no longer able to help my father, there's still hope to help the millions of others living with these daily challenges of mental health and brain injury. And for me, virtual reality not only connects us, but represents an opportunity to dream bigger than ever, to let curiosity be your guide, and to dig deeper into the connections that surround us. And all it starts with is a question. Thank you.